Today we're going to talk about tuning for tone, getting the intonation out of a piano tuning. Hi, Ted Barsley with Alamo Piano Galleries. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And if you have questions or comments, leave those. We'd like to interact with the clientele. And also, if you haven't already and you're interested, go shop our website at alamopianogalleries.com. And we have a whole store full of pianos like this beautiful Shigeru Kawai SK-5 model. And I chose this one today because I shot a video on it, but it's also, SK pianos are my favorites in terms of tuning, because you can really tell where the tone comes from on a piano. And it is possible to have a piano in tune with wrong intonation. And I'm gonna try to demonstrate a couple of things about tone and intonation in terms of your tuning on the piano. And I'm only gonna deal with one key or one note. And so basically the way that I tune, and everyone has their own way, but the way that I tune is I have a reference tone, and from there you build your temperament scale. So I only tune 12 notes, and from there I stretch the unisons, the octaves. So for example, I'm gonna start here. This should be a 440. I didn't put a counter on it. This is kind of where the piano was when I came in, and for the most part it was tuned like that. So in terms of intonation, what you're doing is on every key from around here on up, all the way up to the top, every key hits 3 strings. Those 3 strings together are called a choir. And like most choirs, if you remember singing in a choir, there's always one person that seems to find the note, and then all those that have problems singing the note or finding the pitch stand next to that person. So a lot of choir directors learn how to find the ones that have a better concept of pitch and can nail their notes and put the other singers around them. Over time, everyone learns how to sing. So what I wanted to talk about is you have one note, that's your reference, and then I'm gonna open this up and put one more string in here. And so I have 2 open strings that are vibrating now on this note, and they're pretty much in perfect tune. So what I'm gonna do is open up the 3rd one and slide this one over. And so now I have one of the strings is out, and you can tell by listening to it. Now that has a really bad intonation. It sounds like it's got a slow twist. And when I first started tuning pianos, and you're always learning, so I'm continuing to learn, but when I first started, this to me was just as much fun as playing with a synthesizer, because what you really have here is a fixed reference tone and then an oscillator, which is the other string that you can stretch and make longer and change the intonation in the tuning. So when you're tuning a piano, it's kind of fun, because if you're familiar with some synthesizer terms, it's kind of like having a filter, envelope filter, and a little bit of an oscillator tune, fine tune at the same time, and also kind of gives you a little bit of resonance. So I try to play around and see what kind of synth tones I can get on an acoustic piano just by horsing around with it. And there comes a point where the tone gets almost kind of dull and boring. It's like there's no life in it. That's when they're moving in unison. So that should be all 3 of them in tune. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop down to this other octave, just to use that as an example here. And I'm gonna come mess with this lower frequency because it's more fun. And it's kind of fun to learn how the lower, slower moving bass frequencies affect the high frequencies and how the higher frequencies affect the lower ones. They have a different effect. So just for grins, I'm gonna go up to this next A note here, and I'm gonna get one of those, and I'm gonna split this by 2 because this is always a double check on your tuning and your intonation. There's a point where you can hear it just lives on overtone, especially that high A. And you check your unisons. That overtone is still ringing. That's pretty good tuning, at least on those 3 notes. Okay, next what I wanted to do is, since I went 2 octaves here, I want to do the same thing with the note I started with. Oh, and now you can see it's in tune, but it's not precise, the intonation on this top note. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna block it. I'm gonna get one of them and make it precise with this note. Let me line up my hammer so I don't have problems and I'm messing with the right string. Here we go. This is also where I believe sostenuto pedals were really invented, because when you hit these and you press the sostenuto pedal down, try the octave in between along with it. You can actually hear that high note get louder. Now that's just on one string. So let me go in and pull the unison so you can hear the intonation, some of that synthesizer filtering happen. Some of the effects that you hear in guitar pedals and synths, like vibrato, chorus, tremolo, they all get real close just by stretching a string. Whoops. Then we get that other string in there as well. Line that one up here with the other one, because I think that's the one that's off. This right here. Whoops. Okay, so now the choir should be 3 perfect unisons. You can still hear that one ringing. And then you hear that note by these 2 together. These 2 should make that one. And there it is. I'll do that one more time. So there you have it. Changing your intonation and your tuning and having digital analog synthesizer fun with an acoustic piano and 2 strings, or actually a key, or 3 strings in a choir. It's a lot of fun to tune. If you have questions or comments and you want me to explore some other things, this involves tuning. I'm going to probably do some things with some of our overtones and things like that coming up in the future. But thank you for your time and listening, and also your comments. I know this is kind of different than our normal piano videos, But once again, this is Ted with Alamo Piano Galleries, and I'll be looking for your comments and seeing you here in the future. Thank you so much.